Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to ETF2L Season 51. This time around, as you can see on your screen, it is MANDEM versus the Keck Minoin Samurai. Currently in on product, going live already. We're already in onto the first minute, Haunter's bombing in straight away. Here, of course, with Ben currently loading into the server, because game crashed, we joined the SCV.
Yeah, I'm not
J-Max is here on production. Hello, Ben.
Hello, yeah, I'm on live feed for now because my game hasn't quite boosted in yet. We've already got mid-fight number 1 underway, and it's been a bit of a weird one. Frags going left and right. The sniper from the SNH is something I'm pretty excited to see. We've seen on maps before in previous seasons. He's had some good moments, and actually June dancing with death there in front of that sniper sideline could be lucky to actually get out of the way alive on that one.
Yeah, that's a nice little shot. That's a bit scary, right? This SNH sniper not to be trifled with. Already up, maybe, potentially permanently. We saw the Samurai sort of last season as well when they were the Buccaneers. Instead, they sort of ran this sniper permanently. But this time around, Haunts is already in taking that down, and there's an Uber trade on middle here. Fancy taken down as well. This is a weird little fight. Neither side really has a sizable advantage, but Ryan just in behind through Cliff is going to find the kill onto Eon. Might just get the pickaxe. Nope. Didn't quite. Flick cleans that up. The looks on hitting rock jumps either.
That's what Ryan brings. We haven't had much time to see much of an intro, but Ryan with the impact frag in on to Eon, and now he's going to look at this Uber advantage now. Actually, it's 90% up for June. Point already a minute capped. Can't really ask for much more on a map like product, as we see potential now for some kind of sack wave, potential for some sort of sniper player. Actually, no, never mind. Boulder's going to take the aggressive Uber straight in onto Mac, who I think blows himself up there in the house and takes himself down. And everyone here is falling left and right. Actually, this is not been too much of a success, I don't think, for MANDEM. They lost fans, they lost both their scouts, and for that Uber, yeah, they bought a bit of time, but the aggression is going to come straight back in from the Samurai, and I think they might be capping the point up.
Yeah, like, this is point cap for the enemy. That means that those respawners are going to be so much faster here for the Samurai. Already onto the point. As you can see, MANDEM have managed to run down the timer already a minute and a half, so they can send in the Soldier Stack, do a lot of damage to Flick, actually, and try to pressure back the Samurai. It's early damage onto SNH as well, as Zoe tries to come in for the cleanup. A lot of damage dealt. Fancy very far forwards, gets cleaned up also. But this is a Uber forced out onto Eon. June, 50% herself, and this is honestly, for MANDEM, you can wait for your spawners, the enemy cap the point, you're going to get them super fast. Have an Uber of your own. You see how far forward the Samurai playing.
I actually like that what MANDEM did there. They essentially treated it as a sack wave just in their amount of space that they got, and now with full Uber advantage, or at least 50%, they're going to be able to try and walk forward, but never mind, they're actually losing players. Ryan Zoe going down, Boulder dropping before that too. And it's actually, they're going to have to be fairly quick about this because Eon's already at 65%. If they can just hide this a little bit on the Samurai, they could be in a position to get a trade up on the point, but we see MANDEM grouping up. It looks like they just want to try and barge through the grass.
Yeah, it's a pyro up for Zoe as well, doing a lot of damage just with those reflectors. Ryan bombs forwards, gets a lot of space and actually manages to assist. Haunts getting the frag in onto SNH. They're subbing in for Lardox for now. Demoul's been playing the rest of the week. This time around, however, Fancy lives as well. This is Amanda with a very clean post Uber, finding so many frags. And Eon has the supercharge, but no players really to buff either. He's going to have to run back all the way to spawn as MANDEM just close in on this first round.
Minute ahead on the clock and up as well in terms of the space. Look at this clamp they've got set up on this forward hold. SNH taking a ton of spam, getting cleaned up on the cliffside. Sniper pushing out of forward spawn is not ideal in this kind of forward hold. We're going to see Blow coming in. Ryan actually doing a ton of damage onto this combo. Still's going to go down. Ryan trying to get back around and in, and it's a bloodbath here on the grass. Flick doing what he can to maybe try and keep the rest of this team alive, but it's honestly going to maybe flip up in the Samurai's favour. They've got some space out. Horn's going to bomb back through and try to get onto Eon, but we are into this complete carnage mode. But with 34 seconds on the clock, MANDEM are just happy in this situation.
Yeah, MANDEM are completely chilling. The point is just slowly running down. This SNH sniper hasn't really been finding that many frags, and so that means that, yes, Fancy Alpha will finally get cleaned up, but it is so late here as well. You take a lot of space, but now you just have to hold onto the point for 2 minutes straight. 20 seconds left from MANDEM, and this SNH sniper needs to start hitting some shots. Sit behind rock, but the spam from MANDEM is so crucial. Ooh. Nice headshot, but it doesn't follow up with a kill. There we go. On to Zoe. Is that enough, really, to keep holding on?
It's something. It's going to buy a little bit of time. It's only a 10-second respawner on Zoe, but it is going to buy enough time for them to maybe get some kind of setup here. Ryan and Bloke actually having a fight over this right-hand side. Going to trade up 1-for-1 with Flick, comes in to help. Horns being very aggressive too, and now the Uber's traded across the point. Boulder walking forward, getting the force out onto Ian, who actually milked that for quite a long time. Down to 8 HP. Gonna pop in kind and gonna try and get back out. Does so just about safely, I'd say. It's a bit weird actually because Zoe is in onto Flick. If Eon goes down, it's gonna be an absolute disaster. Zoe finally gets caught, but the point's gonna flip into the blue, and MANDEM 15 seconds left. They're looking good for round number 1.
Yeah, MANDEM just in crazy control for the moment as well, right? Horns in with a massive bomb, followed up there by the rockets from Ryan. 3K for Horns as he just comes in and cleans up house. It is only Mac and SNH left alive, and Mac is just unable to get to the point. June body blocking him. And so that's MANDEM with round number 1. This SNH sniper is not quite finding the success. Maybe you could want MANDEM so good of picking it off.
It's kind of awkward, right? We saw it a couple of times there when you've got your one of your usual scout players going on to sniper, and then you're filling in your soldiers onto scouts. Because there's times there where I think SNH might have wanted to come off the sniper, but to do so, SNH would have to spawn up on soldiers, so the option just kind of isn't there. Like SNH, he's great on scout and sniper, but he's not a prem level soldier. He's not going to come up and do that. So it does kind of limit the options in those situations. So SNH is committed to having to play this completely full time. And we see the soldier, this is the counterplay to it. Ryan and the Horns bombing all the way in deep. Even got a scout in behind on Zoe too. And it's an absolute massacre on the red side of the map. Everyone taking a ton of damage. But actually, the Samurai seem like they're faring on this one pretty well.
It starts off with that crucial headshot from SNH at the beginning of the mid. Fancy Elf immediately taken down. There's no forward pressure here from this MANDEM, who do get a very successful flank, but there's just not damage in time. Zoe, however, 2 very nice flicks, make it even a third here on the connector. Doesn't quite like the 1v1 versus Flick, as he's going to try to clean up the soldier, but Horns getting the better of him for now. So far, so good. Samurai are in control point this time, but this SNH sniper, it has to keep being effective. Fancy Elf. What a beautiful trap there.
That's a great anti-sniper trap. I'm not sure I've ever seen that one before. It's great stuff from Fancy. That's going to remove the pick potential from the Samurai's team. And with big Uber disadvantage, having that sniper up for a potential sack would have been useful. But now they're going to have to sort of do the old-fashioned way, bombing their players, try and get whatever they can in onto these players around you and see if they can force out the Uber charge. But for now, they're just sort of content to wait for their sniper to come back up. SNH coming in, 1 headshot onto Boulder, and that could open up the batting for something big.
Yeah, it's sort of like, it's about like getting those early frags so you start, the enemy start feeling the pressure. But this time around, it's Eon completely left alone from his team. And so the Zoe Uber can come in straight away, surgically remove that enemy medic. But in the follow-up, it's actually the red team, Samurai, coming up clutch, getting a lot of frags here. 2 kills already. Fancy Elf down once again. So Zoe is having a monster of a game so far. Such high impact. Another kill there on to left as well. Keep this up. Syl's back on the point, but no medic really to heal you, so the soldier bomb can come in. So much damage dealt. Mac is already down. This fight is going to keep continuing. But SNH, once again, ball very much in his court, needs to start hitting even more headshots.
Not quite been coming out. There's been a couple of nice ones onto the scouts, but it's going to have to be a lot more than what they're seeing currently, because look at how quickly they're getting squeezed back out. But that's until Bloke gets in and gets a crucial kill. That might be the key back into the round, you know. Kill onto June, big Uber ad. And now this could be their way through. They're going to walk through right side already. Look at how passive MANDEM have to play. There's no heals. They had to wait for their spawners. And that's exactly what the Samurai needed.
Yeah, and it gives the time that the SNH sniper needs to come in and actually start being effective. It is so hard to push out, but what a beautiful shot there onto Ryan. Open the doors a little bit in through main as well. The push is coming forwards. Fancy Elf is down, and Eon has not popped for a single second. It is 3 players up here for the side of MANDEM, but they're nowhere near. So Mac can keep walking this forwards. What Soldier can bomb in. Not quite find the follow-up onto Eon. It's a nice surf out. Crisis averted. This is so much space here taken by the Samurai for free, but are they overextending? They've lost 2.
Free, maybe, but they're losing a lot of players. Like you say, Mac is the crucial one. No demo, no traps, no real way to try and lock out these players. We see Blood potentially getting caught up in the connector too. They're going to have to use at some point. Eon does use, but as the scout is running away, this Uber charge is completely lost on the point, running left and right. Actually going to get, well, nothing for this. It's a complete waste. A bit discoordinated there from the Samurai when that force came through, and Now June has had time to build up an Uber of her own and get herself ready on the point. Big advantage for MANDEM, but we see with a player up, like MANDEM, they're still under pressure. They're still getting squeezed out despite the fact they could rip an Uber across the point at any moment.
Yeah, this is now going to come in straight onto Boulder here with the follow-up from Fancy as well, looking to take a lot of space, but actually the Samurai have actually managed to dodge the Uber for now. Still a post-Uber, it's even health, at least at the beginning, but Flick is coming in. The cleanup of the Zoe and Ryan is very nice, and the Soldier can bomb in. It's Hort's getting that cleanup kill onto SNH, but he's down to 2 HP, and that makes it very hard for him to contest even further. Boulder left alone on the point, cannot hold on to it as Haunt is cleaned up and behind. That means that the Samurai can turn forwards and face MANDEM. But you have to consider the timer here. 28 seconds left. So much time just gleaned from nothing there for MANDEM. They have a big advantage here. In the round timer, not in the Uber.
The Uber's going to sort itself out in about another 15 or 20 seconds though. June at 75%. She's just playing mega passive. There's time to waste, right? A minute ahead in the clock. There's time to waste for a moment, but Boulder getting ripped out is not the way they wanted to start this. Now, Horn's going to jump around, try and cause some kind of distraction, some kind of ruse. Mac actually going to fall to the spam from these soldiers, but Ryan going down in exchange. We're into absolute carnage city, and that's what the sniper can potentially unlock and potentially catch these players who are having to jump out and around as June goes down. It's a big drop from SNH, and that's the shots we've been waiting for this game.
Yeah, that is absolutely massive for the round. Haunt is going to try to bomb in onto Eon, but it is SNH finally activated. Massive headshot onto June, and we can keep following this up now. Back onto the point. Huge advantage for Eon. 45 seconds left for the Samurai, and they have managed to crawl themselves right back in the round.
Is there time for a sack wave? Is there time? There's 35 seconds on this red clock. We said before, MANDEM looked like they were chilling in terms of the clock, but one headshot has turned this round on its head. 25 seconds. It looks like they're trying to wait for some kind of window of opportunity. Got Ryan pressuring around over onto the connector. Bombs come over from Horns, blasted into the air by the scouts. Can't get anything, completely deleted by the scout class. As now they walk across the point, the Samurai look like they are holding tall.
But there's 8 seconds left. June is 90%. One scout's in behind Zoe trying to take the 1v1 here with Flick and does not win it. So June, 99, 100% is going to charge in, but Fancy Elf dies before that she can heal him. And so she's left alone and the point collapses. MANDEM respond with a round loss of their own. It is Samurai up 1-1.
Milliseconds on it when Fancy gets dropped out of the Uber. Drop down and eat the spam straight to the face. Because like you say, if that Uber comes out for a whole 8 seconds on the point, the spawners were getting there. MANDEM were not done and out of that round. But here we go, 1-1. SNH lighting up the server on round number 2. We know he's capable of that, so we're going to have to see more where that came from if the Samurai had to stay in this one. But MANDEM otherwise looking on top.
Back on the middle, SNH not immediately taking any shots as this sniper will slow down the pace of the middle. You see the bomb coming over, but Horn instantly down to 2 HP and cleaned up by Sills. So this counter-aggression could come out through connector. Bloke is going to get taken down, but Ryan is too low to actually follow up.
Zoe's behind.
So there's a big death ball. Zoe's in on behind. It's a lot of damage, but can't fight the frags. Ryan cleaned up, and this is MANDEM throwing bodies at the problem. It is not a solution, however. So much damage dealt. Fancy of cleaned up, and finally, I think Samurai, they're starting to look in control here.
Great stuff. I really thought Zoe was going to get into Eon there. Hit a good amount of damage, but not quite able to finish it off. And like we've seen many times over, SNH is hitting shot after shot after shot on these holds. And MANDEM, they're really struggling to play the game.
It's so much harder when the sniper's activated. They're so far back on Cliff. Because where can you peek realistically, right? SNH is sat so safely in behind. That early pressure, that Ryan, that Haunt were able to exert onto the sniper, shut him down. It's no longer really being that effective. You can see them just instead resorting for this trade across the point. A lot of damage dealt by Boulder onto Eon, but that is a solo coming right back forwards. And not much damage is taken. This is just Flick in on his own. A lot of damage dealt. One kill onto Haunts, but it's not really followed up. So SNH can still sit behind in main. Spot out the scout, find the body shot. Zoe taken down as well. MANDEM now.
Ryan still in. Oh, not quite going to get it. I thought actually Eon was in a lot of trouble, but great movement there from the Samurai's medic as we've seen MANDEM, they decided they have to change things up. They've actually brought up a sniper up on Zoe, but it's SNH the one who's still lighting up the kill feed. Another frag onto Haunts. The SVS looks like it could be about to happen. No, SNH looking at a slightly different angle. Gonna see who out of these two snipers is gonna ring out first on this peak.
I didn't know that the AWP could have the Christmas lights on. That's pretty nice.
That's a new one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. That's good. Maybe this has just been in the game forever and I've never like seen it before. It's Sniper 1v1 won by Zoe. As now the follow-up could really come through. This is a very caught out Mac and an Uber instantly forced out. June doesn't quite have though. You have to be a bit careful at least for the moment, but she does just barely manage to get the Uber up in time. As Boulder comes in, sacrifices himself. Make sure that the rest of the team can stall this out. Now with Sylvs going down and just two players unavailable here for the side of the Samurai. Equally, Soldier quite low. Zoe with a nice headshot there onto Flick as well. It's going to slow down this game. And MANDEM looking, grasping control here of the point. They have a bit of time to run down.
Zoe Sniper has done good work up to now, but that one going to go SNH's way. And like we saw previously, the attacking Sniper having a slight advantage, and now it's SNH with free reign over the top of everyone. Are we going to see players trying to get behind for MANDEM? Are we going to see some kind of aggression to try and close down these lines for this Sniper? Bomb comes in from Fancy, Ubercharge used out, Glock, Mac already taken down, SNH taken down too. Fancy with the Uber going absolutely gigantic.
Such a nice bomb in, it just finds every single point of damage there. He's even forwards trying to spawn camp, making sure that Eon can't safely escape. These stickies have to be cleared by Sylvs. You have to get off at a weird angle. So now, SNH is up on the Sniper, but can you really even push onto Cliff? This is hard. Get the sort of immediate angle. You see how slow he has to be. So this is MANDEM sat on the point. Boulder instantly down, trading across his Sylvs, and this Uber's going to come right out onto Flick.
Here we go, Mac using it across the point. Gonna get a good amount of space, but not much in the kill department there for this Samurai Ubercharge shot. Oh, looked out of the air is Ryan. Mac can be traded out by the Sniper. These Snipers literally just, on both these teams, Zoe and SNH, both having great rounds up to this point. Flick coming in for a cleanup onto Haunts also in the backlines, but it's a tale of two Snipers, isn't it, really, for this round number 3?
Yeah, this is sort of the response when you come up with a counter Sniper. It is very much putting the Sniper in, the ball in the Sniper core, right, on both sides. Whoever wins this 1v1 really just gets free reign to sort of start taking pot shots at the enemy team. Obviously, Sniper versus Sniper, very much sort of dominated by you have to make sure that the other guy's dead before you can realistically do anything. A scoped up Sniper is the most static class in the game. At this time, it is Zoe winning the 1v1. So the Soldier bombing in behind, Haunts actually cleaned up quite early. Means that MANDEM are sort of resting control of the point, and they have to. Because you look at that red timer, down to 13 seconds as Flick is taking the solo through onto the point. Zoe finds another headshot onto Sills. But is this enough? As Zoe has to back off to China. This is a very aggressive red Soldier, raining down damage onto Fancy, raining down damage onto June, but it's not followed up by the rest of the Samurai. They are only 3 up alive. It is Mac left on his own, but SNH is activating. It's 2 kills onto Zoe and onto Ryan, but can he find this kill onto Haunts, who is in and gets body shot down? So somehow, someway, this SNH Sniper does all of the work. The Ryan Scout is not quite there to activate in time, does manage to find the kill, but he's not on the point. And there we go, Samurai up another round.
Wow. Absolute frantic stuff back and forth, but that round was nothing like the other two. The other two, I think MANDEM let the second one slip. This one, it felt like the Samurai were just completely in control. Even in these chaotic fights, it didn't feel like MANDEM could get on the point in those crucial moments. And now, we've seen them before. They brought up the Zoe Sniper. They had Ryan go scout for a bit. Now, MANDEM have changed it up a 3rd time. They've got June up on the Kritzkrieg. They tried this in the grand final of Poland last year on product against Witness, and it did work initially. Is he going to catch Mac out?
Ooh, they're catching Leth out here at the beginning of the mid. SNH unable to find that follow-up frag as well. June already 70%, but this is Fancy just down. Sylvs is in on his own, but June has some moves for herself as well. Decent first little shot there. Kill onto Sylvs, who is shut down, and this is Haunts now. Ryan rather still in behind, distracting the enemy team for as long as possible. Just has to be a nuisance. Beautiful moves by June there.
Outrageous as well, because Sylvs, I didn't quite catch it in the corner of my eye. I thought Sylvs just walked across point and just killed 3 people. Ooh. But Crits is out, but it's not Crits that can do too much because the Uber charge is up from Eon, and that is the best counter to critical damage. He's just being completely immune entirely. Going to have some players bombing around, trying to get back in, trying to get onto Eon. But everyone being cleaned up. Crit's completely neutralized, 30 seconds off the clock, even Ubers. And June has decided to resort back to the regular Medigun to try and just, do this the old-fashioned way.
Surprise factor completely ruined. As you say, 3 times 0 is still 0. Unfortunately, no damage dealt by that crit, so this is now MANDEM really on the back foot. This is a season where, with Witness gone, they're looking to sort of cement themselves as way above the rest of the competition in Europe. But if you're falling on a map like this, last season as well, it looks like these Samurai just have this pocket pick of the product that is so dangerous. And these scouts, Zoe and Horns, not really finding anything. The SNH Sniper is uncontested. Sills and Flick both having themselves monster games on the scout.
Outrageous. And honestly, right, in the midst of all of that, how the heck did SNH not die to Riot in the backline? I actually have no idea. Serves it away beautifully and gets the last little shot away. And now with half the time ticked down, it's round point, it's match point for Products as bombs come in, trying to get forward. Can they get onto SNH? Can they get onto Eon? These bombing soldiers, Horns is so weak up on Cliff, can't really get it. But the Uber charge comes up across the point, even Ubers. June pops out back in tow with a slightly better blue Uber. Fancy's had to use half of it, going back to chase Flick in the backline, which has bought so much time for the rest of the Samurai combo. 4v4, Cap looks like it's going to flip into the blue, but there's already 2 minutes and the timer ticked down.
Yeah, this is SNH for the kill onto Fancy as well. The timer is down to a minute now because MANDEM never managed to wrest control at that point. And that is so good for the Samurai. A fight doesn't come up with a clean advantage for MANDEM. They don't get control of the point. They have no real advantage to work with. All that time we're having these chaotic scraps. It's just the Samurai allowed to run down that point timer. So now with even Ubers, SNH completely uncontested. Horns instantly shut down as he tries to bump forwards. Ryan down to 60 HP as well, cannot go forwards. And so this counter bomb can come forwards from left, do so much damage, clean up Zoe. One of the soldiers in behind. But Ryan is facing such a tough job because the scouts are just all over him.
Has to just retreat all the way back out to the rest of the team. Players trading left and right on this point, and actually this is probably going to favour MANDEM in terms of getting the point flipped over, but it's 3 minutes to 11 seconds on the timer.
They can't let up for a single second. They have to just keep on.
They absolutely, I don't even know what you do here. Like, you got to try and play it aggressive, right? But the even Ubers and a sniper that can end your medic at any moment, it's not a nice spot for MANDEM, is it?
They're walking on a tightrope. As the Uber comes out here, straight forwards from Eon, June immediately forced to counter pop as well. All the Samurai need to do is rest control at that point for a brief 11 seconds. But so far, this Uber, there's no real positioning for them to actually go forwards. But with Boulder shut down by another body shot, it is Horns coming through and just shut down by these scouts. Ryan June instantly cleaned up Fancy too far forwards. It is a wipe onto MANDEM, and with 10 seconds left, I think we might have the first upset of this season. The Samurai look so good on this product.
Absolutely, and it's so strange to see because this team were fantastic when they were called the Bloodsail Buccaneers last season. They were fantastic at product. They were the best team in the division on this map, but they've lost both of their scout players. Sale and Yunu, who were a great part of that success, both swapped out. They've brought in Flick and SNH. They've got a new player up on the sniper. Sylv's still swapping over onto the scout, doing fantastic work. But the strats seem to just be the same. Bloke having an absolute field day behind. Mac rolling back the gears on demo. Like, it's all just falling into place on this map. And it's the same thing we saw last season with almost the same group of players. There's something about product that this team is so good at.
And it took so long, it felt like, for Prem to actually adapt to this product pick. And initially, the response was okay. Like, they took the win off of the Frenchies, of course, in that really surprising first game. But then they also managed to bring it to the Maggots as well. And at that point, we were like, okay, just don't let them take that product game ever. And we could see it sort of very carrying over. I'm really surprised as well. I was kind of expecting that to maybe just be like I think specific to that roster. Obviously, one of the characteristics of that first game versus the Frenchies was Sale coming absolutely huge, of not available to play this season. No Juno either, but SNH are more than filling the shoes in the end. Just the sheer pressure of that sniper, just finding those body shots time and time again. It's 21 frags on the board, but it just opens up the door for Flick and Silves on that scout to just both have absolutely insane games.
31 and 13 sort of begs the question why Silves isn't playing scout normally, to be honest, doesn't it? It's great stats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe scout is easy. on product.
That is true, yeah. It is an easy class.
When the opposing two soldiers are spending the entire time... Actually, let's check this. Let's open the logs. How many soldier frags... Yeah, let's play this game, actually, Ben. How many soldier frags do you think Sills has?
Out of 31.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, you probably expect, like, 20, right? Like,
yeah, he's got 21 soldier frags, 6 scout frags, and 4 demo frags. So
okay.
his job this game was shoot the air as the soldiers bomb in, and he did a very good job.
Yeah, it's like one of those like aim trainer scenarios where there's like players like flying in the sky and you're going to track them, right? So...
Yeah. That was good. I'm a bit surprised from MANDEM. It seemed like they had such good control of the sniper, at least initially, but then as soon as SNH started warming up, hitting some more shots, it just kind of fell flat in their faces. They had that one idea of send a soldier in high through their own cliff and try to get onto the sniper, but once that stopped working, it just made the game so hard.
It's tough, isn't it? Like, I remember like it's something I was chatting with like it was Wild Rumpus like a while back about, and it's like, okay, there's all these strats you can do against a sniper, and there's like the flow chart of, oh, you bomb this, you play behind here, you go and do this, but at some point in the flow chart, there's a contingency that the sniper misses.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, okay, you bomb across to go behind. Okay, what if you get body shot for 150 midair? Is that all right? Well, you die then, right? Like, at that point, like, at every step, there's like the contingency of the sniper could just hit a really good shot and they just win. And of course, like, the better teams like MANDEM have shut down snipers in the past. Witness, we've seen do it a fair few times, especially like back in the Denver land, right? They managed to roughly keep the lid on bot mode for that series. And I say roughly because it got very tense, but like there are ways around it. But like at the end of the day, if a sniper is hitting shots, like you just have to like minimize the impact that those hit shots have, because when you've got people at SNH in the server, they hit quite a few of them.
Yeah. It's really surprising. Honestly, I think this is surprising, right? You look at the product, and yes, the Samurai have a good track record, but I think if you're MANDEM, right, we're sort of, the initial pitch of this MANDEM team is this is the team, perhaps even in the world, to actually contest Witness. And Witness are such a good product team. You would expect a team like them to come in and be equally good and just have that coordination. You have an insane scout combo in Zoe and Boulder as well. Equally just monster flank. Fancy Elf on demo. This should be an incredible map for you. But just coming up short on that first product, I wonder how that shakes them up for the rest of the series. We're going on to a much more traditional TF2 map of Granary now. And let's see, I wonder, do you think that the Samurai are able to bring the momentum forwards and take all 6 points here?
It's possible, right? You can't really ask for a better start, especially that final round. Like, what, MANDEM got like 30 seconds on the timer? Yeah. Like, they were shut out. Like, clearly everyone, like, mechanically speaking, like, coordination speaking, right? The players on the Samurai are playing at their best, but I don't know. I think there's enough quality players in this MANDEM roster that I think they can just think, all right, go on. It's products. It's like, it's the most flip-flop map in terms of if you're feeling it, if you're not feeling it on a certain day. That we can go to something a bit more standard. Like Granary, like it can be one of the slower maps in the game. You've got to play the yard area, you've got to play the pressures into the point. You've got plenty of flank opportunities for backcaps, that kind of thing. And I think that's going to play more into MANDEM's kind of favor. And I'm looking at the players in this roster, right? Like I can't see Fancy and Ryan and Boulder and like all these great names. I can't see them just folding after one map defeat. I still think they're the favourites coming into map 2.
I think I tend to agree. I think one thing that we didn't really highlight is I still think that Fancy did put up at least a little bit of a demonstrably better game than Mac, despite his team kind of losing. I think if we're going into a map like Granary, right, which is just, a lot of the time, the mid fights are decided as soon as the both demos arrive to mid, by that first little sticky shot across. And I think Fancy should prove himself capable of I think he should be outperforming Mac here, especially in this game. I'm expecting some really nice bombs from Ryan as well, had a decent map 1. But Ryan is capable of so much. I think at least I would rate him right up there with both Sil and Pappy at the minimum. I think there would be some people in the chat and say might even favor him above them, to be honest. But we need to see this. Granary is a map where soldiers can be very impactful. Do have the opportunity to go for those huge flanks, huge bombs. But need to see him actually convert.
It's something I wanted to actually bring up in the pre-game, but I know we kind of got jump scared by the game starting. But like this MANDEM roster, it's almost the MANDEM roster we're used to, right? Like Boulder Zoe have been the scout duo basically since Pandemic left, and obviously Pandemic had issues like getting to lands, that kind of thing. Fancy's like the returning demo now that Zams has gone off to Dirty Maggot, sort of stayed there, and when Mandem reformed, Zams was like, yo, I'm just happy to stay over there. June obviously back, has been medic for this team for, pushing on 3 years at this point, I believe, maybe 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But the big one for me is that Ryan has joined. And Ryan back on the anti-side team and back at Uberfest 2024 with new Panzer, Ryan was incredible. Like, genuinely, like, there's an argument that Ryan was the best soldier in Europe. Like, not even hyperbole.
Especially during that Uberfest time when there was no Pappy and no Sil and Prem. Like, I don't even think like it's a contest. I think he just was the best. And I think he should be looking to continue that success. I'm not going to lie. I can tell this now because it's been like a year and a bit. I had some very like conversations with Hugo around that Uberfest time where we were talking about the witness roster that was going to go to Denver. We were sat there and Hugo was like, to be honest, like they're picking me up because I am like land proven, but Ryan has now played and won a LAN on his first go, and he is just right there. We were both kind of in agreement that, to be honest, I think if Ryan went on that witness roster, they also would have been insane because Ryan is super, super good. Unfortunately, last map, he was bombing a sniper the whole game. And that's hard for everyone.
It's not a nice situation to land yourself in. But it should be said as well, I don't think Haunts is the main roamer.
No.
For Mandem. It was listed as Lardox, but Lardox hasn't been around. Demul subbed in last week. But Haunts is back for a brief time at least to play up for this offie, where we're here onto Granary. Onto the 4-minute round timer, as is the new ETF2L rule set, as the players have been coordinating in the pre-game. We're here for rollout number 1 here in week number 2 of ETF2L Season 51. Let's see what they've got.
I think this might be a week 3 game, to be honest. This is Mandem's 3rd game this week.
Oh wow, they're keen.
Yeah, it's nice. They're getting everything out early. So it's Fancy, early damage onto the opponents. This is Samurai taking a bit of a pelting here. All of their buffs are gone. But look at June, down to 30 HP before this mid is even really begin. The spam from enemy ramp is crazy. So Haunts is going to have to bomb in to try and deal with it. This is Scout right there, ready and waiting for him. So he can bomb forwards, but this is now means the boulder taken down as well. There is just such clean positioning here for the Samurais. The soldier Ryan's in. Ryan doesn't quite find the last rocket onto Eon. And this should just be a mid-fight victory here. Mandem losing by kind of just sitting back.
It's kind of I think June took a lot of spam early on, and so did Fancy as well, as they had to really give a lot of space up, and they couldn't really get back in. The soldiers were cleaned up nicely by the Samurai team, and it's not just like a mid-fight loss, it's a loss where they've also given up Yard, which makes a massive difference on Granary, because Yard is so much harder to push into the second point itself. We're probably just going to see players getting ready in Lunchbox. We could even see them rotate to Choke and just try and barge through in onto Fancy, but if Fancy's feeling it, that's maybe not too kind of a prospect, because Demo Men can do a whole lot of damage when they're looking out these tight little corridors.
This is the demo point of all demo points, to be honest. It is such a tiny little space. You can do so much work as a combo tries to push forwards. Zed, equally scary. See, Fancy's just kind of peeking out, spotting a scout. Not finding any follow-up pipes, but this is such a tense little area on this map. It bursts in an instant. Syl's already sitting in Zed. This is left claiming high
massive damage.
Fancy going down. It's a flank from Sylvs and a complete nuke on the point. This is now no demo man up, and I think the Samurai, they can keep pressuring this.
Absolutely, look at them. They're already getting ready. Bloke inching to get into the left-hand side. We see SNH trying to get into the far right as well. In onto Ryan, 3 players down now for Mandem. They're holding on. Is June going to have to use this Uber? Flick going in, going down, and June, she's hanging on, and she hasn't taken much damage, but that was a terrifying moment for the medic of Mandem. I really thought they were going to have to force there.
Yeah, I also thought, like, at least I probably, to be honest, in my head, I was like, okay, they're going to go try to take the trade. The demo's down. Fancy spawn timer, only 11 seconds, so he is back up. With Fancy up, it means you just have to sacrifice SNH. Now, however, you can see the heals are coming out onto Mac, who's just going to take a sticky jump forwards in onto the enemy. But that is a sentry gun in the air, taken down now by Mac. The bomb comes through. It's a lot of damage dealt, but it's only 1 kill onto Haunts, and everyone else is falling to the side of the Samurai. So they're going to get taken down. Fancy Elf is up on the point. Eon left alive. But they reclaim second for absolutely free here.
perfectly read by MANDEM and perfectly positioned by June. They were also aware that this Sackwave kind of play with playing 4 players really aggressive in was going to come, and June was literally sat in the spawn shutter. Was at no risk at all. But now this is where they might be at some risk on MANDEM, because they've walked in, all the spawners are here to defend, and the Uber Chargers are going to be coming out. It's going to be a deathmatch now. SNH first one to fall. Eon really passive out in Garage, actually hasn't had to use the Uber yet, and they're coming back in, but the Pocket Scout has dropped Flick.
Oh, no.
Out, and there's no scouts in the Uber. This is a nightmare scenario now for the Samurai.
Yeah, they have just no height whatsoever, have to keep Silves alive. Just try to take this fight left with a massive rocket onto Ryan, shuts him down, and that means that Fancy is going to bomb forwards in onto Yards. A lot of damage dealt as Eon actually just taken down. Silves cannot find the follow-up onto June, so somehow, some way... Oh, Horns. Okay.
This is weird. This is really weird, because left's deep behind as well. Flick's trying to block mid. We're into chaos mode.
This is, yeah, I mean, he's spawn camping, I guess. He can maybe even potentially get a kill into Fancy. If he goes for a sticky jump here as he gets out of spawn when this comes out, no, it's just going to be a soldier, but this is on point somewhere. It is also Zoe getting traded out by Flick here as well. This is very strange. It is the Samurai maintaining control of the point. Leth is in behind with a kill onto Ryan. Silves traded in Yard. But, yeah, we still have a player up above. Leth hailing down damage. He's alive, at least for now. There we go, he's in the whole team, he's dead.
Leth goes down without actually getting a frag, but he genuinely saved that point for the Samurai, because the rest of the team had to back out. It just meant that MANDEM had to respect the backup potential and go back and clean that player up behind and stop having their supply lines being cut. But midpoint finally going to fall, but it's going to fall in far more favourable circumstances for the Samurai than it could have been. This could have been full advantage for June, because Eon got caught so late in that previous Uber trade. But the plays behind were just about enough, as now we see the Samurai got themselves set up on second. MANDEM with the tough job of bursting their way in onto this Yard area. We see Horns already jumping in, massive damage going through Ryan, the second one in, but it's actually Bloke who's gone all the way deep behind. And done a lot of damage, but not found any frags.
MANDEM really sort of, in the beginning of that push, going in so slowly onto the point, taking no chances. Young didn't have for a few seconds. I think maybe if you're counting a little bit, it could have been a trade potential coming in, getting that frag onto Eon, but instead we're just trading soldiers. Both sides sacking across, and if you are the Samurai, at least for the moment, this is Sills bombing into 2 scouts, and challenge is impossible trying to get in there.
Yeah, not one that you're exactly in be taking it too keenly, and it is a risk, honestly. Like, sacking soldiers in out of this point, it's so incredibly difficult to do. Like, Bloke managed to get in before due to some massive distraction around the choke, but now it means they're basically down a soldier, and we see MANDEM, they know this, they're able to try and get in. They've managed to get kind of in through choke at the cost of, well, quite a lot of health, but they have managed to stabilise somewhat. Ryan's got in, Bloke's got back in behind, got 1 rocket, 2 rockets onto June, and the Uber is forced out for MANDEM. Can they get this Uber charge of Eon? Though in the meantime, bombs coming forward, swords landing in. 1 rocket does not land onto Eon, because Eon holds tall, and the Samurai, they can get looking to push back in onto mid.
This is a bit scary, they have so much high ground to clear.
Zoe
is in
Zoe
onto
drop!
Eon, and finds that drop. Oh my god.
What? Like, the milk for no reason. I don't understand why you understood. I get, obviously, don't want to have the bad Uber, but that's so disrespectful to not be using. I think that's the 3rd scattergun shot.
3rd scattergun shot in onto Eon now means that Mac is going to crumble as well. MANDEM can just sit back in choke and be the meat grinder as the enemy team is forced to come to them. Try and get a sack in onto June, but June just holds tall. It is a scout up as well, and this now means that Fancy forwards just pelting down some damage, making sure there is no team to contest them on mid here. They get this for free, massive advantage as well, and they're going to be looking to roll this forwards into Yard. That is so unfortunate for the Samurai.
One slight saving grace is that Eon does get up early enough, because the drop was early enough that Eon has already built up to 70%. They're probably going to have to give up second. That's maybe a given. But they are going to have to get something set up on last. And I say that actually, it's already 90% on this Uber from Eon. They might actually be looking to stay here. They're actually doing a lot of spam on this point as well. Lots of damage being dealt But it doesn't look to me as if they can get through. Silver's already gone down, Mac's gone down too, and actually they're overstaying on second because Bloke's gone down also.
Oh, no.
Mandem, they're just completely cleaning up everyone. The Samurai disrespecting this way too hard, and now they're on their own. Last Uber trade about to come in. Uber forced out from Eon. June not using yet. May not even have to use. Does use finally after dropping Boulder, but there's only 2 left alive. Flick versus the world. Can he get back in onto this point?
Oh.
Massive mulch from everyone, and Mandem get the first round on the board.
You see the idea from the Samurai trying to get in onto second, get that force across, but they just sacked too many players and there's no one left on last. It's about 2 seconds of the respawn timers, but unfortunately the Granary spawn doors are far away. You can't just spawn on the point, and so that means that the MANDEM could just run in, they take the trade, they even lose 1 player, it doesn't matter, the enemy's 3 players down and they just take control of the point for free. That is a series of blunders there for the Samurai in a game where it looked like they were in control, and suddenly now it's just crumbling through their fingers. They're down 1-0. Still 21 minutes to play for, but that one's got to hurt on the mental.
Absolutely. They've got to try and reset because their first mid was good over on the Samurai. This time around, they've not got the early damage that they managed to get up in mid-fight number 1. Just a spam game so far. First bombs in come from Haunt, who's taken a whole lot of damage on the left-hand side. Ryan going to ball across as well and just about live before landing there. As now it's going to be Mac going the first one to fall. Big bomb in behind from below, getting in, getting a lot of damage onto the combo. Not going to find any picks yet. Silver's going back in for cleanup. SNH getting arrowed up by Eon. 3v2. SNH on scout though. Maybe could have stayed for the fight with the heals up there from June. Everyone on MANDEM healed back up to full. Bit of a weird mid-fight, to be honest. It was a bit chaotic, a bit scrappy towards the end. But both medics getting out alive, and it's going to be even Ubers here into yard.
I think Fancy just didn't find a lot of damage, but the damage he did find was absolutely crucial in shutting down that sort of forward aggression from the Samurai. So trying to get in, Haunt in onto Eon, doesn't quite find the damage. Eon actually completely unscathed in the entire event. Fancy positioned forwards as well, sort of pelting down stickies, but unfortunately not finding much of anything. So now with Haunts down, that means a counter sack might just come in, so straight in onto the enemy Demo Man, instantly shut down also. So with Flick going down, this is now suddenly a situation where, unfortunately for the Samurai, they have to pop this Uber, and in the post-Uber, I think this is going to be looking quite scary for them.
It's potentially a bit weird, isn't it? They're getting barged forward, but it is actually a 3v3 on this point because Haunts is still running out. It's all about this 1v1 SNH versus Boulder. SNH actually winning out in terms of damage. That's going to force Boulder to back up and get the arrow from June, which has bought an amount of time for Bloke to come in behind and try to get in, but unfortunately not landing the shots onto the scout. And now this is the point now where they have to give in, and they're not giving in fast enough. It's the same problem again. They've lost both soldiers trying to get onto second. Eon almost died as well to spam, took a lot of damage, was out far enough just. But MANDEM, 2 soldiers up, they want to just pressure this.
Because Eon took all that damage, he had to go into respawn, couldn't heal players, and this is giving June a 30-40% advantage here. Haunt is going to sack forwards, but just look at the point capture as Scout sits on it for
they get it
the entire time. Boulder from underneath the Samurai's noses. That is an incredibly fast round. And these soldier sacks in onto second are just not working.
I understand the first soldier, I can't remember which one it was. One of them bombed in behind and like tried to get in onto June as they were in the shutter, and Boulder turns around and deals with it, right? That one's fine. But at that point, everyone else has to be getting out, and twice now they've just lost too many players into second. Yes, Granary last is a hard last to push, but only if there's a full last hold there. Barreling in from second, it's incredibly close. It's so easy to turn around and get yourselves in so fast, and here we go back for mid-fight number 3, but like the Samurai, they need to have a turnaround and it needs to be quick.
You need to find some kind of momentum shift. Mid left just sits in his own ramp room, and you can see June actually has a difficult time of getting forwards, just stuck behind her own crate there, but equally left has no position to be anywhere near the opponent, so Sill's going to have to do the heavy lifting, trying to make space, and unfortunately just instantly shut down by the opponents. It is SNH cleaned up by Haunts as well, as the scout pushes forwards onto left, is taken down. So suddenly this mid blows up, 3 down, and Eon is quite low. This soldier spam might get followed up by Boulder. You have to be careful, as MANDEM are just continuing to run forwards here.
This is a situation like we've been many times before. 2 players down for the Samurai. They're thinking about staying into second. They're actually playing it very close for now. They are going to back up though. Mac jumping all the way out to spawn. Sees better of it. It's gone wrong twice before. They respect it this time around. They're going to get the gun. Going to get themselves set up before the gun is even built. Sylv's getting caught out on last by this pressure in forward. Gun taken down as well. And actually, MANDEM, they're in a great position now to try and walk this in.
This is such a witness special, as they just start pressuring you before you have time to set up that gun. And that means this Uber Force comes out for absolutely free. Counter Uber is popped from June, but this is such a superior positioning for MANDEM as they take so much space here on to that last point already. It is Flick taken down, so much height is available. Mac also falling as Haunts can just come in, stand on the point for free. And there we go. This is MANDEM coming in, just one medic alive, cleaned up 3-0. MANDEM looking so much further in control this time around on Granary.
This is why, like, for anyone who's like perhaps first time watching ETF2L, or they've come across maybe watching like RGL and think, oh, you know what, I'll watch some Europeans before you are going to Poland, you know, I'll watch some European games. This is why we were so shocked with the product game. Because this is what I expected on both maps coming into this game. MANDEM are quality, they're fantastic, all 6 of them. Like, as a unit, they're great, they've had so many fantastic performances in the past. And this is them, this is what we expect from them every single map. They are absolutely cruising, they are completely locking out the Samurai, and these 2 quick rounds, clinical conversions, and they're looking to go even more aggressive on mid-fight number 4. They're already inside enemy garage. What is this?
Leth has been living in there for the last mids, and this time around, they just do not let him have any say of the mid. But Sill's actually quite forwards. They're committing so hard into ramp room, and the health is just not there. Sill has an excellent angle, as actually Junes has cleaned up, and suddenly, mission kill Leth is not enough. Horns barely finding that safety rocket there onto Eon. So everything's not over yet, but the Samurai do gain a mid-fight victory. Can they roll it forwards, though? This is kind of, there's 15 minutes left, there's plenty of time for 3 rounds, but you need to maintain control of this game. Losing Eon at the very end, not how you want to start that.
It is so close as well, because Eon did a fantastic job, let it be known. Arrow onto the scout, surfs the bomb from Haunts, and almost makes it on top of the top crate. It's a great effort on the surf, but not quite there. And now even Ubers, but what's worse about this, right, is because there was no heals, because everyone had to stay on mid to hold it, Yard has been held now by MANDEM. They're able to just play this really aggro hold. You lock out choke, you lock out garage. There's really only 3 doors that people can come through, and it's 3 doors that are really tiny and really hard to get through. There's so much spam. We saw before, MANDEM had to take about 500 damage combined just to get their combo in through choke. And it's why it's one of the hardest points to break in the game, as we see a bit of attempted pressure coming in from garage, but it's all about the soul stats. Who can get in, who can get far enough forward, and who can potentially look to make an opening.
It's Mac just sitting in that window area as well, right? But he can just be so easily countered that the bomb from Haunts does so much damage. And this is kind of the trade-off you make, right, when you're in that ramp room. You can sit, yes, you have a decent spam angle, but how do you realistically follow it up? Then it's just one scout sitting on that hut, and it makes it so hard for any kind of soldier to actually sack forwards. You're really relying on Mac to find some kind of sticky damage in onto the opposing combo, so they're not healthy enough to just stand in your rockets, and they die to early spam. So otherwise, like, you can bomb in, but you're only getting 1 rocket off. Once again, though, Mac so pressured forwards, as actually Eon just gets uber forced here, Flick going down, and that, once again, disaster for the Samurai. MANDEM from nothing, massive advantage onto middle.
Yeah, it's even more than that, because the Pocket Scout's gone down. They might even be able to take this one for free, because look how far back the Samurai have fallen. They're all the way in onto their own yard, and look at June, they're still walking forward. They don't even care about using Uber on mid. They want to use it to get into last. They're already through left hand side yard. They know the sniper can be coming up, and they know they want to get as much value as possible out of this Uber. Boulder thinking about pushing it straight through Z, honestly, and at this point, like, you might even catch some players doing that.
Yeah, it's looking good, at least for now. SNH actually manages to find 1 kill to Ryan. Sylv's getting taken down, though. This is a weird trade there on mid. It's 2 soldiers for 2 soldiers. But this time happening. SNH is still just chilling on mid as well, by the way.
Maybe trying to, like, draw some players back. Actually has drawn everyone back.
Yeah, which is, I think, the acceptable response, right? He could just kind of cap over the point now. Soldiers are respawning, gonna hunt for him as well. This is 1 scout in through choke, and SNH unfortunately not finding the shots. Cleaned up by Ryan. Threat averted from MANDEM. Now with the pick advantage, are they going to be looking to push forward? You can see MANDEM already with Fancy in choke, spamming out this scout, looking to create an opening, but Boulder shut down by Sylvs.
This is the danger, right, of trying to get through this choke. It's incredibly tough. It's honestly like, this second point, I think, is the hardest second point in the game to get through if you've got this aggressive setup in Yard, because look at the damage they're taking. Like, the Pocket Scout, full 185 HP, just deleted instantly. But in the meantime, we've got some some players going behind. Zoe going to be taken down on the flank. That's one way of trying to bust through this. Mac actually doing massive damage up onto Horns, who's airborne, blasted all the way around, but there's actually... Bloke is maybe... No, there's no way that gets anything.
June down to 69 HP. Just regens right back up with that health pack as well.
Move right behind.
Oh, Ryan's in behind. He's far in behind as well, actually, in onto Lunchbox, and that means the Boulder feels ready to take this trade. In this post super, you have to watch out for the Ryan flank as he comes forward in onto second now. It's ready to pounce as we come forward. It's an absolute masterclass. Clean up onto 2. Eon Mac all go down as MANDEM spring the perfect trap here onto second.
Nobody saw Ryan go behind. The quick skip jump in through the left side garage. Nobody was aware, and that's the perfect call. Left going to try and get in. Tries to got the second point. Does not quite do enough damage. But that's going to be last point capping up. And what a play from MANDEM. What a play from Ryan. Getting all the way around. Nobody was aware. And to take the trade, you know that in that trade, they're going to try and fall back to point. It was just like absolute, like the timing was second perfect at that point. With the player coming behind, the Uber coming forward, everyone getting crunched on the second point. And that's 4-0. You said there was time at 3-0 with 15 minutes. How about 4 rounds in 10?
Gonna have to ask some Australians about that, whether or not you can come back in 10 minutes on a Granary, but it's gonna have to start off instantly on this mid. MANDEM looking squarely in control. There's a reason I'm bringing up an event that happened at this point, I think, haven't done the math, about 12 years ago, maybe, perhaps? Let's just go with that. 10, 12 years ago, long time ago. TCM did manage to make the comeback then, down 4 minutes, 10 minutes left. But this time around is MANDEM once again, haunts straight in onto SNH, finds that kill. Ryan with a beautiful bomb. Follow up onto Eon as well. Hit the first one, doesn't matter. Second air shot rocket is all he needs. Haunts, follow up onto Silves as well. Just Flick left alive. And he's gonna have to do this all on his own. Jump down in onto June. Cannot clean up his former teammate.
Nearly made it work there. I was a bit weird watching Boulder and Flick just like stare down, just like zigzagging across in front of each other, but this could well be game, set, and match for Granary. Kritzkrieg up for Eon, but is there any dream of getting that out? Soldiers and Demo already rolling out now for MANDEM. 30% of the Kritzkrieg. We could be staring down the chance of a 5-0 here. Gun is going to be up in time, but this is a full Uber ad, and this is going to be Fancy and Bold ripping it straight through one of these shutters.
Uber getting ready any second now. Fancy bombing forwards. Invincible and taking no damage. Sentugan dealt with as well. This sniper from Flick has found absolutely nothing. As Holtz actually hasn't managed to take height, but this parachute on it to left, it doesn't do that much. The SNH crits heavy comes out and does manage to clean up one. So somehow, someway, it is MANDEM not quite holding on.
Fancy!
But Fancy on his own does so much damage onto Eon, just barely managing to stay alive. That was mighty close there. Fancy just found everyone stacked on top of each other. But the crits heavy comes out. You stay alive, but you need to keep rolling forwards. You don't have time to stay back.
I think that was actually 5 kills for the heavy on last. 4 of them during the crits, and then 1 of them in the post fight up against Fancy. But like you say, they have to run forward. Maybe in regular situations you wouldn't see them playing this aggressive, because look at Zoe already in as the flank wide open, and Combo wide open too, because look at them getting bullied all the way out. Zoe is on a tear as MANDEM look to end it the traditional way, the way they've done in rounds 1 and 2. Forget pushing last with you, Brad. You may as well push it while you can, with the enemies are trying to clear the second point. Everyone dropping left and right on this last point. Silves in a rough position up with the pipe, trying to lock out these players. Bloke up there too. They seem to have stemmed the bleeding for the moment, but these heals are going to be a while away, because Eon's still up respawning. Uber is out, and MANDEM cleaning up the remainder of these frags. Fancy onto spawn alongside Boulder. They actually want to clean up everyone. Forget the point, we're just going to kill everything.
There we go. MANDEM finally cleaning up. It is 5-0 on Granary, and looking so much more in control than they did on that product game. That is the Samurai taking a very surprising 3 points. And those 3 points, Ben, could be absolutely crucial when it comes to those playoffs. It's a reminder that the product is not a map you want to play against these guys. But on Granary, when it comes back to traditional TF2, They just don't quite have it versus the top dogs. MANDEM looking so much stronger on that map.
That was a fantastic performance, an absolutely fantastic performance. It was a map that I think MANDEM had some good results back, like way back, but on Granary. But like I don't know how much stock to put in those. It's quite a different roster at this point. But that's what we're used to seeing from MANDEM, right? And it's maybe the first time in a while we've seen like this exact combo of players playing together. But they beat Dirty Maggots, who were, I guess, kind of like de facto favourites coming into this season, if you kind of forget like roster changes and such, because they came second last time Witness weren't playing. But like MANDEM dispatched of them very easily earlier in the week, and now this 5-0 against the Samurai is probably what you'd expect, but maybe not after losing that first map. And look at that, one death on June, got 22 and 7 on Zoe. Fancy doing 424 DPM. Do you reckon he's going to do that in Poland? What do you think?
Oh, I think there's some Americans who are in. I think at this point they've heard the whispers of Fancy, right? Like with Lucas sat there watching a Fancy L frag videos as warm up at the Denver. They're gonna be hearing whispers of rumors of this guy.
They're scared.
But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how he matches up versus Habib coming in as well. I think also Logan coming also on Moneyballs, as far as I remember. On the top of my head, that roster.
Yeah, I believe Logan's on the Moneyballs team. Yeah.
Yeah. So both of those obviously very, very good story demo men. Fancy Elf looking to kind of be that sort of. We look at Europe and then obviously at Denver, Lucas kind of ran over everyone. And his comment, I remember being like, I trained against Fancy. You guys are nothing to me. And
yeah,
we'll have to see how true that is.
Yeah, let's not forget the weapon that was allowed that perhaps maybe shouldn't have been, which made it a little bit easier. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a great performance from Fancy, and honestly, like, I can't really put a fault to any of the players on MANDEM for that second map. It felt like everyone just kind of locked in after the first map, like genuinely, like the entire team. I know some of the stats and some of the players are worse, right? But like Ryan was like bottom on DPM, but his impact was great. Like Zoe was tearing it apart on the flank. We saw some great Bulls Rubers, as we usually do. Is what he's known for. The Bulls Ruber is to be feared, and yeah, one death for the medic. Like at that point, you're never really going to lose the match, right?
It's setting us up for a very interesting rest of the season, and it sets up a very interesting question of we're going to have to like either sort of stalk scrim logs or start shadowboxing on our head, because obviously Witness not playing the season, still going to LAN. So we won't see MANDEM really contest against that de facto top dog in the world until we come to LAN. But at least for now, I think sort of they might have dropped a bit of confidence there in and on that first map, but very much reminding us when is normal TF2, they look so much better.
I think this is also going to serve as a reminder, because we saw in so obviously last season we saw the Blood Cell Buccaneers, now known as the Samurai with a few different players. They had those big wins on Product. And then at LAN, I think Product was getting banned out a few times against them, because teams basically learned, okay, right, like, it's by far their best map. And it's like, we see here, it's not like it's, you know, a map they have a slight preference for or whatever. Like, it is, they are like night and day, like a different team when you play them on Product. Like, just ban it out from them. Don't let it happen. And then this season, it's like, okay, yeah, but they've lost Sale and they've lost Yunu, who are two of the players who are really making it work. But now this, like, yeah, they brought in a new sniper, brought in a new scout, and it's still kind of the same. They're capable of just beating anyone on it. So everyone's going to learn later on this season. I'll be doubtful they ever get to play Product again this season. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I would be very surprised. And they're somehow allowed to play in the playoffs if they get there as well. Yeah, that's
surely that's not allowed to happen, right? Unless, like, I guess because like the only team I can think might do it is like the Enderpearls team.
Yeah,
because like they're the sort of, looking at that roster, I think like that's the sort of team that they'd be happy to just come for the fight, right? They took Andy on sniper. You know, I can see them having a go with it, but yeah, like, we'll have to see.
Yep, we will. We will watch more TF2, see more TF2 perhaps, if I actually lift that segue better. Right on your screen, of course, we have more games at least planned for Thursday for now. I'm sure there'll be more games on top of that, as Prem players slowly start realizing they also have to play TF2 next week. But I think, at least for me, Unless you have anything else to say. Oh yeah, by the way, guys. Oh my god. Guys. Chat. Please, !donate in the chat. Imagine if we had a stage for Poland. Think about it for a second. Let's have a stage at Poland. Just go to donate.poland.tf. Maybe help us out ever so slightly. If, of course, it is financially reasonable for you to do so.
Yeah, or buy merch either. Merch is always great.
Also buy merch.
Like I've gone. I know Spencer got the hoodies. I'm more of a t-shirt person for merch. But get yourself some Poland merch. But I do believe if you're buying merch, I think you. I say this. I think you might have to be coming to LAN to get it because that's where you pick it up. But I'm not sure on that. Check on the merch site. There's a link literally on the screen, poland.tf/merch on the bottom on the little like banner thing. So. Go on there, find out for yourselves, but there's some cool t-shirts and hoodies and whatever. So yeah, do support the LAN because it's going to be amazing. You're going to see both these teams in action there.
Yep, every little bit helps. And of course, it just makes the vibes so much better. We have that stage. So if you, like, I don't know, like, you know, like, a guy who, like, let's say, you, like, one of your best friends is, like, a Rothschild or something, and they just have, you know, millions to spend for no reason, maybe let them know. Would be cool.
But yeah, and that's it from us, right? Like, go and watch the games late this week. Like, there's one match on Thursday at least. I don't know. Like, I'm hoping teams play. I don't know. It's kind of scheduling is normally a bit fairly last minute, but you'll see posts on TFTV. Keep an eye on like the sidebar on TFTV, and you get that sorted. But that's enough from me. That's enough from Juan. Thank you, J Max, for stepping in as producer for this game, and thank you all for watching. And we'll see you all next time for some more TF2 action.
Good night.